Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Monday, June 30th, 2025. Well, if you've been following some of the headlines today, there's a lot of chatter about an illegal immigrant detainment facility that's being constructed in the state of Florida here in the United States. It's being nicknamed Alligator Alcatraz because it's being constructed in a soon-to-be in fenced-in tent city on the Dade, Collier Training and Transition Airport. So there was an existing facility that was no longer being used, an airport. It was largely abandoned, that facility, and they're repurposing it to be a detainment facility. And there's a lot of chatter about how this remote location is going to be a deterrent to escape for those who are being detained there simply because of its location, how it's in the middle of the Everglades. There's nothing but 40 miles of alligators and anacondas and other wonderful wildlife examples between them and making an escape happen. Now, there's also a little chatter from people that have some common sense that said, if some of those immigrants truly did do the walk from South America to the United States, and many of them we know were transported, but it might be really wise to vet the ones that made that trip on foot, because if they did, there is an area in the jungle between Panama and Colombia called the Darien Gap. And it's 60 miles of jungle with no roads. And if they made it through that, I don't think they're going to be deterred by the Everglades. Yet at the same time, there's also some chatter in the alt media community that what really may be a good use for this facility that's going up is detainment of those who are being consequenced pursuant to Executive Order 13848, Crimes Against Humanity. And I wanted to ask the cards about that because we know that while there may be some illegals that have the jungle experience to make that trek out of there, there's a lot of pencil pushers, white collar criminals, etc., here in the United States that are going to be consequenced that don't have that kind of jungle savvy. And this may indeed be a wonderful spot for them to wait to be moved on to some of the other facilities that are spas, like at Gitmo and Guam and other places around the planet. So that's what I want to ask the universe about the is this facility going to be utilized extensively by the white hats? And let's see what the universe has to say about that. We'll leave it open to other additional insights and information, but I always want to try when I can to put a yes or no element to the question because it's always fun when we get those hard yeses. So, are the white hats planning to use this? Is this? I'm not going to ask if it was a cover. I think it really is meant to be a detainment facility. As I said, though, I hope that they're pretty thoughtful about who they try to detain there and not have ones that have jungle traversing experience already under their belt. But let's see what the universe wants us to know about this Alligator Alcatraz detainment facility that's opening soon in July of this year. So our question for the universe is, will white hats be able to and are planning to utilize the Alligator Alcatraz as a detainment facility for those being consequenced for crimes against humanity, etc., plus additional insights and information about this facility and the plans for it? They've already expanded the spa down in Gitmo, and we do know there's been some large-scale apprehensions of those who needed apprehending. Let's see what's going on. We've got the Six of Wands. I'm just laughing because, troubled water, Everglades. Okay. Queen of Wands, the Hermit, the Five of Cups, Strength, Judgment, and Page of Pentacles. Okay, well, let's take a look at these cards a little closer here. Okay, we have the situation for the alligator Alcatraz being symbolized by the Six of Swords, and just the imaging on it. Like I said, it made me smile. This image often has a message of going from a place of troubled water to safety, but actually, in this case, with alligator Alcatraz, it's kind of the opposite. But by putting people that are dangerous of one stripe or another in that facility, it is helping to protect innocent life, which is kind of what that this card is saying, that that's the intent here of the place. Now, the Queen of Wands is she's telling us it's an accomplishment optimism. The White Hats are feeling really good about this facility and think it's going to be put to good use, hopefully not for long term. I'm saying that because here in the middle for the current, we have a five, the Five of Cups, okay, which indicates a lot of sadness and despair, but also not permanent in nature. So it's not intended to be a long-term facility. Why? Because something is coming. Okay, the Hermit is showing here for the recent past, shining a light on all the events happening now and in the near future, and just indicating that there is going to be some change. There is change coming. Let's see what's coming. Well, first of all, no surprise. Got judgment coming for those who have harmed little ones, innocent life, etc. Again, crimes against humanity is kind of a good umbrella term that won't get me in trouble on some of the more restrictive platforms that my content goes up on. The Page of Pentacles, so that's our strongest indicator here. But again, in the future, strength. We're going to be operating from a position of strength in bringing the light farther into our world. One way or another, we've got an infinity of resources within us and helping us, and it's going to happen. The Page of Pentacles shines a little light on the Judgment card and the Strength card. And what he's talking about is that this is a worthwhile effort, that this, again, this effort to aid and assist humanity to protect innocent life, it's valid, it's valued, it's valuable, it's going to happen. Let's get a couple more cards and just see what the additional layers are about this Alligator Alcatraz, which again, I'm seeing that it's not meant to be a permanent facility, something that'll be around 20, 30 years from now, but it is going to serve a purpose in the near future, one of bringing judgment. Wheel of Fortune. The Chariot, look at how many we've already got now out of 9 cards. Almost half of them are major arcanas, which says this is a good question to be asking. It's a good topic to be giving at least a little energy to. And let's get a couple more cards and just see what the final decode is for the tarot cards on this. Now, first of all, this is a political read. The Wheel of Fortune always indicates that our world is going from dark to light. Okay, it doesn't go backwards, and on political reads, it's moving forward again into the light for the foreseeable future, hundreds of years type of future. Okay, the Chariot is when things are moving and shaking. Okay, strong energy, military energy, beautiful card to have here, just saying, you know, we've got a purpose, we're going to see it through, we got the energy, we have the means, the and the operational capabilities to make this happen. The Queen of Swords and the Page of Cups are our final 2 cards. Again, we're looking at the near future. They get less insightful as I lay them down here, especially on the top row. The Queen of Swords quite often just talks about, again, the she's kind of justice related and says, trust your intuition, trust your judgment, okay? Be objective. When you hear stories about this, especially if you hear about, you know, this is inhumane or what have you, just remember when people are incarcerated, there is a minimum standard for incarceration, and that includes those in detainment facilities, but that doesn't necessarily mean air conditioned. It means food and shelter, okay? It means adequate water to drink, etc. And the Page of Cups says at the end of all of this, there's going to be kind of a nice surprise for us. We're going to be finding out more about it and pleased with what we hear. So it's going to happen, it's going to open, it's serving a purpose, and it's one that the White Hats do plan to utilize, okay, extensively from the look of it. And we're not going to be sad to hear what it was used for and who was there. So let's recap. There's a lot of chatter going on about Alligator Alcatraz, a detainment facility that is opening up next month, July of 2025, in the state of Florida, in the Everglades, about 40 miles away from Miami. And there is some chatter in the alt media community that actually there may be this facility may be utilized to detain those who are waiting to be consequenced pursuant to some executive orders. And I wanted to ask if there was truth in that chatter. Now, we didn't get a hard yes, but boy, we got some entertaining and informative cards, including a lot of major arcanas, which says, important question. You phrased it well. We have some insights for you. And here's what they were. First of all, the entire situation about the Alligator Alcatraz just talks about kind of a reverse of this usual card, taking someone from a place of chaos to calmer waters. And actually, then, as more people who are capable of grievous harm are out of society's path, it does do indeed do this. So the purpose of this is to make the United States safer as we work on these deportations and returning people to the country of their origin, etc. And but then it got interesting because we got some confirmations that the White Hats are going to use this. First of all, the facility's not meant to be in use for 20, 30 years down the road. Okay, that's not its purpose. Okay, but for short term, as far as the universe considers short term, it is going to be used for the next few years. Okay, it's going to be utilized in the process of rendering some judgment. Now, the judgment card isn't necessarily justice related typically, but the judgment card talks about reviewing past actions. And what else do you do when you're brought up on charges? You have to answer to some past actions. So that's why I found that to be a little bit relevant and informative. The strength card, White Hats are operating from a position of strength of this, whether it is returning criminals to their homelands or from prosecuting those who have harmed little ones and have crimes that are pursuant that make them liable to military justice based on executive orders that are active and ongoing. Okay, so we had that. The Wheel of Fortune just said it's all part of bringing our world from dark to light. The energy, motivation, and means to do this are at hand for the White Hats. And at the end of the day, we're going to see that justice has come. And there's going to be a nice surprise for us as we find out a little more about who was there, why they were, etc. Information we'd like to have to be publicly disseminated and available to us, not just hinted at, chattered about, or kind of given little nudges and nods to in coded communications. So the time for candid and clarity and transparency and just some information that might be hard for people to take if it's new. It's coming. It's on us. And this little facility is playing a role in that. So that's it for this video and our exploration of what's going on with Alligator Alcatraz, opening soon in Florida Everglades. I'm Laura from Laura's View and Tarot 2. I thank you for joining me. I hope you'll come back. And until next time, if you're willing to receive it, I send you love, light, and I wish you everything bright. Bye.